Now, if you want more free Cowboys videos, especially when news happens, and be part of the most subscribed, most watched, most viewed, I would say most fun having, even if it's at my expense, Cowboys YouTube channel out there. People like to watch for my meltdowns. I get it. There's something. Hit that sub button right now, youtube.com/@CowboysTV. Free videos multiple times per day when you subscribe. We're talking trades today. A couple different ideas, suggestions have been floated out there. Bleacher Report suggested targeting Jaylon Johnson, the Bears corner, who is a quality corner target. Now, they made their argument, Jordan Lewis, DaRon Bland left the game with injuries. They did, and they also came back, so they're fine. They are actually not on your injury report at all this week. But corner, you lost Trayvon Diggs. That makes some sense. Here's the pitch from Bleacher Report. If the Cowboys find an aggressive corner with ball production in the mold of Trayvon Diggs, it would be worth it to call the Chicago Bears about Jaylon Johnson. The fourth-year corner has missed the last 2 games with a hamstring injury, but when he's been on the field, he's been very good. Now, the back half, I agree with. Johnson is a very good corner. I think he fits what this front office would have interest in. He's not a long-term piece. It does not have to be a long-term piece. If you don't trust the Lewis-Bland-Gilmore combo or one of those guys, Johnson stands out as an obvious fit from that perspective, and he's a good cover guy. Calling him an aggressive corner with ball production is just flat out wrong. He's got one career interception. Now, I define ball production as interceptions, not pass breakups. Now, maybe that's what Bleacher Report meant, but, they don't have benefit of the doubt for me because he's got one career INT. That's not ball production. If you're adding him to get takeaways, it's not it. Would be a good fit, I think, with DaRon Bland, though, in terms of Bland being your playmaker. He's always around the football, and Johnson hoping to kind of be more of a more lockdown-ish guy. Last year for the Bears, since he's barely played this year, sub 60% completion rate on a bad team, by the way, 452 yards, 1 touchdown allowed, 0 interceptions, 7 pass breakups. I think like the second rounder is about what you'd have to go out and get to give him up. He was a second-round pick. If the Bears don't want to pay him, they, in theory, should be able to get a third-round pick back in the comp pick process. So got to make it worth their while. Plus, they could just always, extend him since he is pretty good after all. But it's a good name to consider. One we've mentioned before here on the show. Some ESPN trade ideas coming up next. But first, will the Cowboys even make a trade? Y for yes, N for no. This is today's pinned comment, so if that ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and go vote. First of 2 different ESPN traders. First, the one that's more normal. All right, James Conner to the Cowboys in exchange for a 2025 6th-round pick. Now, there are conditions on this draft pick, and we will break those down because I think that matters here. Because Conner is on IR with the knee injury, you actually can trade injured reserve players. That is doable. Doesn't happen very often in the NFL, if ever really, but you can do it. And that would be why there are conditions on this pick. If James Conner scores 0 touchdowns, Cowboys owe nothing to Arizona. If he scores 1 touchdown, it's a 6th-round pick. If he scores 4 touchdowns, it becomes a 5th-round pick. 6 touchdowns and or 500 yards on the ground, it'd become a 2025 4th-round pick. I actually appreciate Bill Barnwell putting on the conditions of what that trade would be and going a bit more in-depth as to, why you would have the conditions because he is injured there after all. So I do appreciate that. And in theory, you'd probably guess that's maybe a future 5th-round pick. It's a little much for a running back, and it's the scheme for Arizona too, and the fact that he cooked you when you played him. James Conner, before his injury, was actually in the midst of a career best season from an efficiency standpoint. Now, he was assuming it's closer to the 400 yards over these 6 games, right? Like you were trending towards a season in which he was going to have a big time year. Like he was very much trending towards somewhere in the 1,000 yards range. 5.4 yards per carry is a lot higher above his career average. Now, the injury kind of, for me, makes it a little bit of a non-starter. If you want to give Tony Pollard some breather workload there, I think Rico Dowdle's been decent in a small sample size. But overall, speaks to your offensive woes. Your entire offense has not been as good, and your ground game's playing even worse overall. And again, what'd you change? Your play caller. Now, today's show, even in the trade rumors, I'm still throwing shade. I'm just angry. I'm sorry. Not hangry anymore, though, thanks to Factor Meals. It is a busy season for me. We got football going on, NFL and college. Olivia's turning 2 next month. She is a bundle of energy. She needs constant attention, and how can you not give it to her? But that doesn't mean that means that the time to prep and clean and cook isn't there the way that it used to be. That's why I love Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. It can help you fuel up with fast, chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. Head to factormeals.com/CowboysChat50 and use code CowboysChat50 to get 50% off. One more time, again, the link will be in the comments and the description of today's show along with the promo code. It's code CowboysChat50 at factormeals.com/CowboysChat50 to get that 50% off. This next ESPN one is a doozy. All right, Cowboys get a linebacker, Alex Singleton. That makes sense. And they also get a future fourth because they send Trey Lance to Denver and a second-round pick. That's something. The Cowboys added Lance for a look in 2024. The plan has never been to play him this year. And as frustrating as this team has been, he's not really going to get a chance to do it barring injuries because you should still be in the playoff race, if not in the playoffs, all the way through the end of the season. But you traded for the guy knowing it was a future thing, so trading him now would kind of be a little bit weird. But you do get a pretty decent linebacker in there, and Alex Singleton had 163 tackles last year. I went with last year's numbers because this current Denver defense is just really bad. And I don't want to, I think it's tough to blame all the players when the players didn't change that much. But just like we talked about for the offense, the coordinator did, And you got problems up front at linebacker. Van Der Esch is going to miss at least 4 weeks, if not more, 4 games, I should say, if not more. Damone Clark has not taken the step forward. You have Malik Jefferson and you have Rashaan Evans and Malik Jones, on the practice squad for now at least. Marquise Bell has been, you wanted it to be Overshown. Man, maybe we should have Overshown right now. But I think it'd be a little weird, surprising, maybe even concerning if they traded away Trey Lance. Like, would that indicate that he was bad in practice? We don't get to see that. That part's not open to the public. So what is the percent chance that Trey Lance is the Dallas Cowboys' future? Sound off for me in the comment section. Be honest that he's the guy. Go vote in the comments. Let's stick on defense here. The Giants, Leonard Williams, proposed by Bleacher Report to help at defensive tackle, which I don't despise as a hypothetical idea. There are some issues here that we do need to kind of get into. Number one is, how do you make the roster spot? You'd probably just put Junior Falco on IR with some unknown injury. Like you'd fake it, right? You have invested in this group. Mozzie Smith, give him time. I trust me, I am upset with the way this rookie class has played so far, but we knew going in this was going to be a short term or a longer term play, not a short term option. He needs some time, but Osa Odigizua has been up and down, flashy, consistent at points, but not quite all the way there yet. Leonard Williams was that dude back in 2020. 16 TFLs, 11.5 sacks. Since then, he has yet to combine for those figures in the big metrics. There's other underlying ones. He's still a good pass rusher. I haven't loved his run support play right there. The biggest issue here, he's $18 million. And Bleacher Report says, well, the Cowboys make it work. No, not paying that. Now, you would owe the pro-rated amount, so maybe it's from like 12 or 10. I'm not paying that. That's like the cost of your entire defensive tackle room combined. I'm not doing that. The Giants would have to eat most of it. And I still doubt the Giants would help out a division rival outside of an exorbitant cost going back. And I think you could find a better defensive tackle for the cost and impact if that's the route you wanted to go. I'm going to ask that these trade ideas stay realistic. But put your Cowboys trade ideas in the comments section. Realistic, I would move heaven and earth and maybe do some very illegal things to get Mahomes on this team. It ain't going to happen. Let me know in the comments section what your realistic trade ideas are. Now, CBS Sports had a couple different names. For today, I'm just going to do one of them, and that's Kristian Fulton, who you guys probably know, right? I actually had him one slot ahead of Trayvon Diggs on my big board at cornerback. They were both like really good values for where they ended up going. And I liked him a lot. I thought in 2021, he was primed for a massive season. Here's the thing. He's bad now. Don't really know what's going on. If it's mental, if it's physical, if it's just lack of confidence, I don't know. But Kristian Fulton is on the verge of getting benched in Tennessee. He can't cover anybody. 81.3% completion rate, 2 pass breakups. He was actually really, really good back in 2021. That second season for him was legitimately a big-time breakout year. He allowed a 51.4% completion rate, 496 yards through the air, 14 pass breakups, 2 interceptions. Now, in fewer games in 2022, he was targeted 72 times in 2021, 63 in 2022 in 2 fewer games. He allowed almost the amount of yards, with a higher yards per target and completion, or close to completion rate, and only 5 pass breakups. And he's just regressed. And that's scary for me because I'm not taking a flyer on a guy that's regressed. That defeats the purpose. So this preseason, I've been like, that's interesting if you want to go get another corner, if injuries happen. Now I'm like, I'm out on that one.